Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and I Man here from the Block Runner, MetaZone, and Rovi, and we just finished watching SBF do an interview on New York Times.
Yeah, the New York Times event, I guess. Everybody
Yeah.
that was kind of like, what's the inverse of hyping? Like dumping? Dumping the idea that, SBF was going to have a public moment after all of this debacle. It's like, dude, how's this guy not like locked up by now? But nonetheless, it happened. He had his public moment. He's actually had a few now. Like he's on some sort of press junket, right? So
yeah.
Well, why?
Doing a press tour.
What's going on, right? And that's what everybody's saying. Like this is probably one of the most ill-advised things to do when you're in this type of scenario. Right?
You know what? It's ill-advised if he was in the United States and he would have jurisdiction in the U.S. and so it's probably best not to say anything. But he's in the Bahamas.
So you're saying he's literally untouchable because he's in the Bahamas?
Potentially. I mean, I don't understand. I don't know the legal ramifications for committing fraud in the Bahamas.
I feel like the United States can like get anybody anywhere. I don't know.
I think they can.
Yeah.
I think they can, but it's
if there's enough,
probably more complex than just.
Of course, but I'm just saying, like, if there's enough like public demand, I guess I don't know how what entity is in control of like executing on that. It's like, you know what, this guy has done something egregious enough to where we're gonna go get him, and bring him to the States and prosecute him, right, or put him through some sort of lengthy jury procedure, something like that, right? So. Whether, so something's going on in the back end that led up to all this, right? He's got a team involved.
Yeah, somebody's advising him.
Maybe even his own parents who are like lawyers, I think, like high profile ones or
political arm.
Yeah. So he must have gotten, maybe even good old Bill Clinton showed up or something.
It's like,
don't worry, son.
Yeah.
It's like you're under our protection.
Yeah.
Just to do this and that. So
so let's talk about our take on this interview. So it was about an hour 13 minutes long.
Yeah, well, obviously we can't play that, so recommend anybody to go watch it. I mean, it was an interesting interview.
Yeah, it's worth a watch.
Yeah,
and he asked all the right questions to SBF, and
the questions were great. But he wasn't. People are kind of attacking this guy on social media because he wasn't tough enough, as if he's a cop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, why didn't you?
A detective.
Yeah, he's just some guy on the news, dude. Like, relax, everybody.
Yeah.
The questions were sound, but he's not out there trying to,
implicate the guy.
Exactly. He's just out there letting him fuck himself, which some are saying he did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, my take is that SBF was, a little bit trying to make it seem like negligence was a good excuse, and not being able to understand where money is flowing, like on his platform.
Yeah,
and and it isn't. I mean, negligence isn't a good excuse. And how do you just mismanage $10 billion? I mean, I just don't understand.
And like have no
way to understand like where things are going, like in the dashboard that he keeps talking about.
Yeah, what is this dashboard, do you think?
Well, it's their team, their developers create a dashboard so that you can see everything that's going on.
Like an Excel spreadsheet, basically.
It's more friendlier than that.
Okay, I'm just wondering.
It's like has charts and everything. It's like, here's your revenue. It's going up.
You can do all that in Excel.
You could, but it's harder to understand.
Yeah, but the point is, he brings up these dashboards and in a sense, like, I'm a busy guy. If you've ever taken a look at his
pictures
or the what's it called, the entity structuring of like all of the different entities involved with FTX and Alameda, pretty much everything that Sam is associated to. Or
it's like 70 companies.
It's insane.
Yeah,
it's like one of the
more complex than Enron.
Yeah, so. In a sense, it is partially believable that he could like lose sight over some components to this whole like
for sure
very complex.
I mean, there's no, if you're not a lawyer, if you're not like an entity like legal specialist, you're not gonna understand the flow of like your company structure and everything.
Yeah, but there's no way, like especially after the market collapse, which is pre FTX, right? The market has been in a collapse trajectory for basically a year.
A year, yeah.
Since the start of 2022. There's no way at any of that point he didn't like check in with Alameda is like, hey, how's the portfolio looking, guys? You know, it's like a standard thing, like an instinctual reaction.
He did. He was trying to bail out Alameda with customer funds.
Yeah, I know, but that's the point. Of course he did. Of course he was. But he's out there saying he didn't, like in these interviews, right? Yeah, that's his excuse. He's like, I was busy with FTX, guys. FTX, I mean, it's a full day job. I don't have the mental bandwidth to deal with all these other external, because we have Alameda on the research front. Then we even have like a venture capital entity. Like there's just so much going on under FTX, right? So obviously it's impossible for me to monitor everything. So therefore, sometimes, billions of dollars will just slip through the cracks. You know what I mean? That's literally the story he's going out there telling everyone. And some people think that's true.
We got a couple of takes here. Well, actually, no, I would say Kevin O'Leary and Bill Ackman.
Yeah.
So Bill Ackman says, call me crazy, but I think SBF is telling the truth.
Yeah.
And then Kevin O'Leary quotes it. He says, I lost millions as an investor to FTX and got sandblasted as a paid.
I like that.
Yeah, as a paid spokesperson for the firm. But after listening to the interview, I'm with Bill.
About the kid.
Yeah.
I like how they just refer to him as a kid. Like, dude, that young whippersnapper, what the fuck, dude? Managing tens of billions of dollars and stuff like that. He's an innocent lad.
Right.
Like, why are we out there trying to, burn him at the stake?
Right. So okay, that's their opinion, and maybe SBF is telling the truth. He had.
I mean, to be honest, remember when we first started talking about all this on our we had like a full hour podcast discussion about the FTX collapse, and
we had a similar kind of knee jerk
without all the incriminating evidence, because this was like earlier on while all this was unfolding.
We gave him the benefit of the doubt.
I just like factored into it. I factored in to my reaction, which I didn't like 100% for like say he's
innocent.
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I just said like
there's a chance he got overzealous with like the books.
Yeah, he caught into the euphoria moment of the bullish cycle, space of the overall crypto cycle.
Yeah. And
it kind of ran away from him, right? The FTX and Alameda, all these things blew up within the last 2 to 3 years. That's a very rapid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but nonetheless, when you're in the trenches, you're pushing buttons. You're sending funds. You're spending.
You absolutely are.
You're converting.
Yes.
You're investing. You're pushing buttons, and you got to know what's happening as a result of pushing that button.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
yeah.
But nonetheless, with the responsibility and the duty of being the button pusher, you have to, before you push any button, right, you have to use data and information to make these decisions. So it's just one of these things, man. So what's going to happen? What's the result of this, do you think?
So, like I said, I'm not sure what the legal structure for committing fraud in the Bahamas is, but Mike Novogratz says that he should be locked up.
Okay, so if you don't know who Novogratz is, he's a hugely reputable investor in the Web3 space.
Yeah.
Early investor to Ethereum, was a big proponent to EOS back in the day. Spun up Galaxy Digital. Now they pretty much invest in everything. So he's got a great track record as far as, takes.
Yeah.
And then here he is, basically. I don't know if he was an investor in FTX or not.
I think it was.
Okay, then it makes sense why he's so pissed.
Yeah.
What's his take? It's like, don't lock him up and throw away the key, basically.
Yeah. SBF is delusional.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he is delusional.
Really?
I mean, because he's like, it was just an accounting error, so a large version of a rounding error, and like.
You think the delusional part is the fact that he thinks he can tell these
funds,
or just get away with it, like use that sentiment of, I'm just like an innocent kid who fucked up.
Yeah,
that's like a viable way to get out of this situation.
Well,
that's the delusion.
That's a good question. I think that's his only position to stand on. Because if it's not that, then he actively knew he was using customer funds and sending it to Alameda for, leverage.
Yeah.
And either you actively know what you're doing or you don't. There's no other middle ground.
Yeah.
Like there isn't.
But there's no way to. What's going to be the smoking gun in this? How do you prove that he actually did have full knowledge of what was going on in Alameda? Because this is what he's claiming he didn't.
I think there's ways to prove it.
It has to be internal communication somehow, right? Like
internal communications and just whatever happens on their platform. I mean, if you're sending if someone deposits a Bitcoin and then you send that Bitcoin to Alameda for an investment or whatever, you got to know what's happening here.
Yeah.
Right? Because
well, you were making a good point before the stream here that even if he didn't know, like it doesn't excuse that there was fraud.
That's right.
Like, so it doesn't matter if he knew or didn't know.
I totally agree.
Yeah, basically, if the law was violated, that's it.
Yeah, if you're the CEO of a company and your team are doing this, the CEO is responsible.
Wow.
Right? Your team is also responsible, but the CEO is the one that takes the biggest hit.
I mean, he is out there saying that publicly, you know, no matter what, there was a managerial mishap, whether or not he's claiming that wasn't part of his, like, you know, responsibility within the internal workings of that whole organization. Yeah. Right. That's all intertwined, but at the same time, he's claiming are separate.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah.
But he is taking ownership of it. He's like, yeah, saying exactly what you did. I am the CEO, right? So it's my duty it all should fall on my shoulders. And that's why I'm out here publicly, basically just on an apology fest and, like, you know, just sighing back and forth. Just throwing out a lot of those, just to really show the world, dude, like he's affected here.
But we got to take a couple of things in context. He had an interview at Vox. Well, it wasn't a Vox interview, but it was like a text interview.
And
he sounded
private, right?
It was a private interview.
Yeah.
But he sounded like an asshole, like as if this is how the real world works, people.
Yeah.
If you don't understand this, it's your fault.
Yeah, I think he had a lot more arrogance back in those days when like the world was behind him, like pushing him as, you know, one of the greats.
Yeah.
Now he doesn't know how to react when the world is on the other side.
Yeah.
The whole world wants to see him burn at the stake, you know. Yeah. So this is an untreaded territory for him, and he's definitely he doesn't come out with the same confidence that he used to have. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and on top of this, even if he could return all the funds, make everybody whole, he still committed fraud.
Yeah.
But that reality is nearly impossible because everything went down, right? Everything crashed. And so all those assets that he owned couldn't conceivably cover the liabilities that he had.
Yeah. But there has to be whatever punitive vehicle that emerges from all of this, there has to be like tiers to this, right? That's the way, you know, the judicial system usually works. Like whenever there's a crime committed, isn't there things like intent or non-intent? Don't you think he's being advised to like pretty much? It's like, listen, Sam, you're pretty much fucked no matter what. You broke these laws, like you're saying.
Yeah.
No matter what, if you do get persecuted, there's no way around it. There's enough evidence, like you for sure. Obviously, there's been, what are they calling it? Commingling of assets.
Yeah.
Unavoidable. It's all publicly on display.
Yeah.
So maybe this whole act is to potentially get into that tranche of negligence, which is, you know, I think probably a less severe penalty, right? I'm assuming. Yeah, I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm no lawyer here.
It would explain him doing this press tour.
That's my prediction.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. Like he's going out there putting on this act. I think he's one of those people, dude. I don't know. What do they call them? Sociopaths? Yeah. They're really good at putting on a show.
It's like it's only $10 billion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone in the audience is like, yeah, it is only $10 billion. You know what I mean? He just throws out these figures so willy-nilly and shit. Like the way he says it. Like it's somebody said that. Like there's some shtick to him. He's got a shtick.
It's like the kid.
Well, he's compelling in a way. Like it almost seems like I don't know if it's the whole nerd thing.
Could be the nerd thing.
The nerd thing contributes a lot. Like whenever you see somebody you think is like a hyper intelligent type being.
Yeah, is wearing like sandals and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously that was exposed as a lot of like nonsense as well, right? But I don't know. Nonetheless, he's using all these things to his advantage and putting on a show for the world. That's really all that's happening here. Like crypto is forever tarnished a little bit because of this, no matter what.
Yeah, he was a front man
Yeah.
for Congress, right? Crypto Congress. And
Well, yeah, that, and now it's allowing people to continue to push this narrative that crypto is a dangerous thing. The mainstream should stay away from it because look who runs this shit.
yeah,
Criminals.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true. I mean, it's a bad look for all of crypto.
Absolutely, and like it makes even like trustworthy actors lose trust.
Yeah.
Like people like even me, like I'm skeptical even of Coinbase. Like, you know, I've had no bad experience with them over the last 5 or so years using their platform. They seem well positioned to continue on that trajectory, but nonetheless, they're still human, just like the FTX organization is, you know. And
yeah, but remember back in 2017, Coinbase would consistently go down, right? You couldn't access Coinbase because of the mania.
Yeah, there's just too much volume.
Yeah, that was a little sketch.
Triggered this internal circuit breakers.
Yeah. So that was definitely sketch. I don't think
that was definitely sketch.
Any fraud was happening or anything like that. I think their systems were going down, but nonetheless,
yeah.
I mean, it does present, you know, some skepticism across all exchanges.
Yeah, which again, which is gonna slow down adoption, but it's gonna ramp up, I think, the ethos of Web3. That is the ethos. Yeah. That's the whole point of this. That's why. Well, that was why crypto was invented in the first place. Is to, you know.
Yeah, there's no decentralized way to purchase Bitcoin, is there?
You gotta mine the damn thing.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that would be the only way.
Yeah, you gotta spend your money on the hardware and then receive your Bitcoin the hard way, dude. The fucking man way.
The almost never way.
Yeah, pretty much. It's almost impossible. So yeah, they have a total grip on the.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is that we have to depend on these centralized services in order to get decentralized money.
Well, it's an on ramp. You're right.
Yeah,
it's a problem, and it's an existential one. The whole space has to deal with now, and. I mean, so it's obviously part of the sentiment why so many people are upset with Sam. You know, not just because, you know, a lot of people lost money, clearly because of mismanagement, whatever excuse he wants to throw out there.
Mm-hmm.
Nonetheless, a lot of people were hurt, and this is not good.
Yeah. So what's your take on Kevin O'Leary and Bill
Kevin
Ackman?
O'Leary, I mean, he's a paid shill for sure.
Yeah.
Or FTX. So but I don't know why he's still keeping up with this thing. Like,
I think he's a contrarian. He just likes to go against the masses. Yeah. Like, that's his position in life, is just to be against.
I could see that. He's using that as a way to, like, get his brand, his personal brand out to the zeitgeist. Same with Bill Ackman. Bill Ackman, I mean, he's always finds a way how to get, like, front and center anytime there's, like, a big breakthrough event, you know, independent of, like, his investment background, and which makes him, you know, famous in the first place, right? So
yeah,
I don't know. It's just a couple of guys up to no good in the neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Okay, Will Smith.
That's all there is to say about this, dude. There's no grand takeaway from all this. It's just part of the show. Yeah, that we're all forced to watch. You know what I mean? Such is crypto bear markets. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think that covers everything. Our take on SBF and the interview, and Kevin and Novogratz and Bill. I think
we said we didn't want to come back to this.
Yeah,
but we felt forced to, right?
Yeah,
just the nature of I guess the universe. It's like everybody's being pulled in this direction.
I mean, it's just inherently interesting. Just like the dynamics, Bahamas, fraud. Yeah. Like, what happens in this situation?
It literally feels like the OJ trial.
Yeah, right.
I was too young to catch that, so this is like my next shot.
Yeah, the same thing with Enron. Like, I don't remember that. I think it happened 2000, 2001.
Yeah, 2000, 2001. Yeah, so I wasn't paying attention to that. Yeah. So this is like my first life, like big
fraud case.
I guess this is supposed to be the juice, right? So we're all drinking together.
All right, well, let us know what you think. Do you think SBF is being genuine, or he's actively committing fraud? Let us know in the comment section below. Follow us on Twitter at The Block Runner, at MeadowZone.io, and at RobyAI, and we will catch you in the next video.
Peace.